Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel Physics Surgery. We are going to have a question from the Olympiad workout series. So in case you are new to this channel, we have already announced a Olympiad workout series where we will be posting questions from the previous Olympiads, IPHO, INPHO, APHO, and other countries' Olympiads, and also the online physics Olympiad. So OPHO, Online Physics Olympiad, that happened in 2020 in March. There was a question paper, and in that we are going to take up a question today. So it's a tricky question. I have already posted this question in my last video, asked you to try for a day, and this is it. So they called the question as flattening the curve. Okay, right? And the secret would be revealed at the end of the question why it's called that way. Okay, so there are two current carrying wires. Let me just go through the formal wording of the question. So one is a curved wire. Can you see the blue colored wire, right? So that's a curved wire. And the second one is along the y-axis itself. So the first one where you would be given the equation here, y square minus 8x minus 6y plus 25 equal to 0. You can see they have written that equation here itself. That is the blue color wire having a current I2 equal to 3 ampere flowing through it, and it's a very long wire. Even the y-axis wire, which is represented by the equation x equal to 0, is a very long wire. Okay, so the current through that I1 is 2 ampere. So 2 ampere and 3 ampere are the currents respectively. Find the magnitude of force in Newton acting on one of the wires due to other. It's just asking magnetic force of interaction. Okay, so and also he gave a note at the end. The current carrying wires are rigidly fixed, and the units for distances on these graphs, whatever numbers he has written, should be taken in meters. So it's pretty clear cut question. So if you want to give it a try and you're new to this particular channel, then you pause the video here, right? Let me enlarge the question for you a bit more. So just give it a fair try it for maybe 15 minutes because it's a slightly tough question, Olympiad question, and then you can continue watching the solution that I'm going to provide. Okay, right? So here's the solution. So what I've done is I've drawn a crude diagram of what he has given, right? So the green color wire, which is along y-axis, this I'm calling it as x-axis. Can you see? There is a white line that I'm calling as x-axis. The blue color wire, which is curvilinear, is drawn this way. Okay, right. So first of all, let's look at the geometry of the equation of this blue colored wire. Y square minus 6y minus 8x plus 25 equal to 0. I think one of the basic maths tricks that we are taught at school is whenever, especially there is no x square term, only y square term is there, complete the squares to check what kind of curve is this, right? Especially like a looks like a conic section. So I could easily look at this and write this as y minus 3 whole square, sent all the other remaining terms onto the other side, and I got a lucky parabola, right? So y square equal to 8 into some x term is a parabola. It's just that the vertex of this parabola is 2 comma 3 somewhere here, right? So it's not symmetric about x-axis, but it's a symmetric curve. Okay, that is for sure. So now come to the physics part of it, right? I'll take a small dl element of this wire and try to see the field due to this. Why am I doing that? Because I know the field due to straight wire. I don't know the field due to a parabola. That formula is something that is not standard. Okay, so I'll take this as the source and this as the victim of that force. Okay, so at a distance x from a very long wire, the force on this particular thing is due to the magnetic field due to the wire. Okay, I think right hand thumb rule for this wire produces a green color field out of the board, right? So I think I made a mistake there. It should be into the board. Okay, right? It should be into the board, right? So I just put a cross mark there. Okay, so that should be into the board, and the value of current that you would end up value of the force that you end up having on this would be perpendicular to the DL, right? So there is a B inward I to the tangential direction. So IDL bar cross B bar, the value of the force, again, I think I need to change the direction. So this, I'll try to put it the other way. It won't change the magnitude anyways. The direction should be taken properly. Okay, so that should be the direction of df. Okay, I'm using bi into dl force, right? So that should be perpendicular to this, and I'll just substitute the green color bi as mu naught into I1 into divided by 2 pi x. Okay, so that's the field, multiplied by I2. I2 is the current through the blue wire, and then multiplied by small dl element that you have here. Okay, now you would say that at every place such dl elements will be there, this force would be in a radial direction to that. It's normal direction, as I can call it. So because this is a symmetric parabola, I can say for every dl here, if I drop a chord onto that, right, there will be a dl element here where the df force would be exactly a cousin of this, but normal in this direction. So when I'm adding vectorially all these dfs, we get a feeling that the net force should be in the leftward or x direction of force only will exist. Okay, so that I think should be a very clear cut thing that you need to understand. It may not be symmetric about x-axis, but the net force would be in x direction. Okay, so the df I'll write, and then I realize f net when I integrate this by symmetry will be only in x direction, in this case negative x direction. So when I integrate only x component of forces, then I'll write mu naught I1 divided by 2 pi x into I2. Now that, let me explain how I change dl to dy. Okay, I said x component, right? So again, I go to this part, right? So can you see this small red one? I have enlarged it and drawn it here. Okay, so let me change the df direction that I mistakenly took. So the df that I have to consider is, let's say, in this direction. So right, I've just replicated this direction here. Can you see that? So if that is the df on that wire, I could complete a small triangle here. You can consider this red line as a hypotenuse of a small right angle triangle. So the dl's components would be dx and dy. And similarly, df's components would be dfx and dfy on an imaginary projected wire onto the y-axis and x-axis. So you would say by the formula, the dfx value would be related to dy length of the wire, right? So dfx, which is perpendicular to dy, should be related to the b into I into dy. So that's the important part. Okay, so let me correct this and this directions. Okay, so this blue one should be in this direction and this one in this direction. So this is the heart of the question, where you know that the x component would be equal to b into I into dy length because of the cross product that you end up getting. That's why when you take a sine theta here and integrate, all those dl sine thetas would be nothing but dy values. Okay, so that's why I could come back here. Can you see the bottom of the screen? I'm pointing out this one. When I integrate only x components, surprisingly, you will end up getting the dy integrations. Okay, so this is where I took the component part. Okay, so in this case, I'll bring out all the constants out. Okay, and I have a slightly peculiar integration. I have a dy and x. So I need to write x in terms of y, which I'll choose from the original above equations. Can you see the top of the screen? So I actually will choose from here and write that x in terms of y in that perfect square that I have. I can easily write this as y minus 3 whole square plus 4. Obviously there is a 8 here. That 8 I'll put on the outside. So this 8 represents this 8 here and rest of the thing. This is simple integration now, and you could see that the y coordinate should vary from minus infinity because the wire goes to infinity and plus infinity. So I have put the limits of the integration. Okay, so this is a simple integration, square plus square, right? I think it's a tan inverse integral, and when you substitute infinity and minus infinity, you'd get pi by 2 minus of minus pi by 2. So I would argue this is having a pi, but remember there's a 1 by 4 of that also. So the entire integral upon solving would be equal to pi by 4. Okay, so once you write that pi by 4 out, then the value comes out to be a simple, after cancelling all the things, there is a pi by 4 here outside, and this is also a pi by 4. So answer would be a simple looking mu naught I1 into I2. So you need to know what is mu naught. Mu naught is 4 pi into 10 power minus 7 SI units. I think I1 and I2 are given 2 ampere, 3 ampere, right? And then you take a product in the Olympiad exam, you're supposed to write the answer up till the 4 significant digits is what they wrote in the paper. So, but this is the major answer. So it's a simple expression that you are getting. You should recollect from your JEE experience that if I had this wire flattened completely straight, then you would have infinite force between two parallel wires. There you actually calculate force per unit length. But for this infinite wire, the total force is coming out to be actually related to all dy components of it, right? That's why they said flattening. So you're almost in this situation, that you're flattening this part only onto the y coordinates. You are saying only the y components of these parts of the wire are experiencing the force. The x components cancel out on each other, right? So the I'm talking about the length, okay? X component of force comes on the y component of the wire, okay? So that's the reason why they wrote the heading flattening the curve, okay? So this is like a hint given to the students while solving the exam, okay? So this is the answer. I hope you liked it. So let me present to you the next question in the series that we are going to take up. This is the INPHO exam, 2019, last year's exam, Indian Physics Olympiad. Okay, so this is the problem number 1, and it's part of our Olympiad workout series. So if you're new, Olympiad workout series, what it is and all that, there is a playlist in the description below. So you can go and check all the other problems in the playlist to know the level at which we are actually working out. So I'll try to take a snapshot of this, right? This time I'll give you more than one day, maybe tomorrow night or day after tomorrow morning, I'll post a solution for this question. There are 2 pages to it. So just have a snapshot. Okay, right? You can pause the video and then check it out. Then the second part, it's a nice question on mixture of ray optics and sound waves. Okay, so and some of the parts of this question are associated with your JEE principle, so it's equally important for your JEE questionnaire. Okay, so there were 4 parts to the question: A, B, C, and D. As you progress, the parts become slightly more tougher. So try this one out. I'll post the solution in the coming days. Okay, right? Right. Thanks for the company, and please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, as I always keep requesting you. So I'll keep bringing you more in the Olympiad workout series. Also, there are other series that you can go and check out in the playlist, like Pathfinder Solution series, and also the All India Test series of reputed institutes, AITS Select Solution series, which is running parallelly every day. Frequent upload of questions will be done. Okay, so please don't miss out, and thank you for visiting my channel.